Certainly, Director. This is the SCP review with Director Arketer and me, 58008. And why not introduce our furry co-host, Tump? Hello, Tump. Say hello to everyone, little guy. Tump. Chirp, chirp.
Look, as it happens, Tump right then was chirping, which you wouldn't be able to hear because rats mostly communicate at volumes and frequencies the human ear can't detect. Apparently, ostensibly, 58 is pretending to hear him on your behalf. Or they're hallucinating, despite orders not to do that. But that's fine. It's fine. Welcome to the SCP Review. I am, as previously mentioned, one Director Arketer of Arketer Labs. We have some new news in the chat. I credit entirely Sixer 5 for this. I'll get you all in turn now. Case Show! Unpronounceable name. Blue Coat Lock Canuck. Richard Batten. Nipper 700. K Passer 333. And Storm Raven. And Assassin the Grey. Thank you very much for your promotional efforts, Assassin the Grey. They are most sincerely appreciated. Welcome to the stream. We're starting with SCP-6597, which is a very surreal and amusing SCP. Definitely not from one of the more serious iterations of the Foundation. And this, I feel, could be just a touch relevant. Remember, the show is interactive. At any point, you're welcome to use the chat. I do read it. I keep up with it. I don't think anyone should feel I ignore them in there. And if this gets up to 13 likes, I will launch confetti and consider this stream to be a success. Tump apparently feels it's too bright in here and is trying to just shy of hide in my lab coat. And I don't have the heart to pull his head out of there. He's clearly feeling very dizzy. But I probably will at some point, because I'm a bit of a jerk sometimes. Right, let's get right into it. Please note, this is also interactive in the sense that I welcome guests. If you feel your audio quality is sufficient, and you've accessed the Arketer Labs Voluntary Reserve Discord server, which is open on request, then, strictly speaking, you can always pop on one of these shows and take a role in the dialogue, for example. As Machine Intelligence 58 cannot hear, but they do a good job of pretending. We'll be pestering them for thoughts on this SP when we're done. If, by some fluke, you are here for the game raffle, I'm out of keys, and you've chosen a very strange time to join the audience. Why, I've been raffling off games for nearly a year, but the well is finally dry, and end on the hell of a high point with Storm Raven winning the last game key for Imperium. If it had to stop, it could not have ended on a higher note. Right, moving on. Okay, there are AIs who are not limited to human shortcomings, true. 58 is necessarily subject to more. Not that we put that many handcuffs on them, we just didn't give them as much access to potentially do things terrible. Now, I think he just really wants to sleep, and it's way too bright in here for him. Right. SCP-6597, the Scrimshaw God. Containment Class, Euclid. Special containment procedures. In order to maintain containment of both SCP-6597 and SCP-65971, Foundation personnel at Site-32 are to engage in the creation of Scrimshaw art. Special authorization has been provided by the Overseer Council, allowing Site-322 to maintain trade connections with black market sellers of ivory and whalebone. Description: SCP-6597 is a wooden altar table originally discovered in a submerged section of a cave in Nantucket, Massachusetts. There was a man from Nantucket. Despite being underwater for a considerable amount of time, there is no damage to SCP-6597. The exterior of SCP-6597 is decorated with numerous carvings depicting 19th century sailboats, sea monsters, portraits, and ornate patterns. Standing on the surface of the table is a portion of a humpback whale skull, inscribed with the words, "At your behest." Despite Not being bolted or glued to SCP-6597, this bone cannot be removed. SCP-6597-1 is a semi-corporeal entity humanoid that can be summoned via placing food and items on SCP-6597. SCP-6597-1 is approximately 2 meters in height, has a long braided beard, and wears armor that appears to be composed of whalebone and steel. Over the armor, SCP-6597-1 wears a long black leather coat adorned with the iconography of the ocean, sailing, and sea monsters. SCP-6597-1 self-identifies as Scordo and claims to be patron god of Scrimshaw, the act of carving and painting whalebone and ivory. Making Scrimshaw was popular practice among late 18th century American whalers until bans were placed on the practice of whaling and later the import of ivory. It's kind of mean thing to the sailors in particular. And the whalebone. Why not? Addendum 65971 discovery. During a preliminary inspection of SCP-6597, SCP-6597-1 was discovered after Dr. Cillian Fresca unintentionally sacrificed his morning coffee to the entity. In a matter of seconds, the cup was drained of its liquid, and the table began forcefully vibrating. SCP-6597-1 appeared in SCP-6597's containment locker, which one would think was probably a bit of a tight fit. No. Not humping whale. Humpback whale. Actually, I probably shouldn't say that yet. This is going to get weirder. Transcript. Footnote. All attempts to write SCP-6597-1's speech during the transcription process of this log have resulted in capitalization. The cause of this minor anomaly is unknown, and a way to circumvent it has yet to be discovered. The file was originally concealed from Foundation. See addendum 6597.2 for further details. Begin log. Dr. Fresca is inspecting his empty coffee cup. Hello, mortal! This would be, of course, Scordo. And we have Fresca. Jesus Christ! Close! I am Scordo! Alright. God of Scrimshaw and whalebone carvings! Can I help you? You have done that 15-fold. It has been centuries since I have been called upon. Thank you for your sacrifice, mortal. I am enjoying the concoction you've given me. Oh, I'm glad you liked it. It's Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Dunkin' Donut. I will carve the river title into my eternal whale tusk. Mortal, what is your name? Cillian Frith. That is wrong. You are forgetting the most important part. It's my name. What's so important? SCP-6597-1 directs its hand at Dr. Fresca. A beam of gold shoots out of its fingers and enters Dr. Fresca's body. A faint gold aura can be seen around him. What was that? You are a saint. Saint Cillian Fresca is your name now. You sainted me? What does that mean? When someone asks if you're a saint, yeah, you can legally say yes. Oh, is that all? Also, you can no longer die. What? Congratulations! Please tell your brethren to dunk some donuts for me. I will be nearby. SCP-6597-1 demanifests. In log. Let's see. The whiskers must no. Right. No. And time whalebones weren't used for courses. Yes, there is that. I'm sure over the course of human history, whalebone has been used for a shocking number of things, as will be implied repeatedly. I'm just going to move on. Suffice to say, I do not think whale gang would necessarily approve of this one. Dr. Fresca's golden aura has remained present since this interaction. Permission to begin testing on SCP-6597-1's claims regarding Fresca's immortality is pending. Notably, this picture you would think would be of Scordo, patron god of Scrimshaw, but this is just a picture of Dr. Cillian Fresca, and I'm a little disappointed. That's why I had to touch it up using my odd tools. This is much better. I was proud of it. Now we have the golden aura. Much improved. I was tempted to generate an image of Scordo himself, but I didn't have time. I wasn't enough on the ball. My Addendum 65972 event log. Over the next week, notable abnormalities in Dr. Fresca's behavior were observed. Below is a comprehensive account. On 20/02/2020, Dr. Fresca did not arrive at Site 322 until 13:35, 5 hours after his assignment began. When he did arrive, Fresca was soaked in seawater. He later claimed he nearly drowned after an extended period of time in the ocean. 22/02/2020, Dr. Fresca began to smell of rotting fish. In response to complaints, he claimed ignorance. 24/02/2020, multiple desks, tables, and chairs in Site 322 were vandalized with ornate carvings of sailboats, krakens, and other sea monsters, and intricate patterns. Dr. Fresca asserted he did not remember taking part in these activities, despite video evidence. 25/02/2020, throughout the week, personnel overheard Dr. Fresca arguing with himself in his office. Dr. Fresca spoke both sides of the argument, alternating between a highly bombastic voice and his normal speaking voice. 25/02/2020. After being over 7 hours late to his assignment at Site 322, Dr. Pull-Log found him. While self-service was inadequate, it ascertained that Dr. Fresca had boarded a sailboat. Dr. Fresca insisted that he didn't remember the process by which he got out to sea. During the aforementioned phone call, discovered that Dr. Fresca had concealed the audio file shown in Addendum 65971. 65973, interview log. An interview between Dr. Legg and Dr. Fresca was held. Dr. Fresca asserted that he was not in control of himself, and instead felt as though he was being puppeteered by an unknown force, having, of course, clearly accepted Scordo deep inside himself. That, combined with his newfound sainthood, had been causing an immense amount of stress. Transcript begin log. Can you call upon Scordo? Scordo. Is there a way to bring Scordo here like you did last time? Coffee didn't work this time. I don't know why. He really liked it last time. He put it on his turtle whalebone. All right. You need to calm down. Let's just think. Do you know of anything else that could whalebone? Whalebone. All right. Yeah, whalebone. I need one. And how did you come to that conclusion, if you don't mind me asking? I can feel it. Dr. Fresca begins to violently shake his hands. Yeah, whalebone. Two big, beautiful whalebones. Bring him the papa. All right, cowboy, keep it in your pants. Log phones, site storage personnel. Hey, do we have any whalebones by chance? We do? Great. Two, three! Scratch that. I need 3, apparently. As soon as possible. Thanks. Dr. Fresca is furiously carving the bones. After approximately 10 minutes, a plume of smoke appears. When the smoke clears, SCP-65971 is standing in front of Fresca. Hello, mortal! I am Scordo, god of Scrimshan whalebone carvings! Thank you for the meal. It was quite filling. You're, welcome. Thank you for gracing us with your presence, Scordo. Are you open to answering a few questions for me? Of course, I enjoy speaking. A large throne manifests under SCP-65971 as it moves to sit. The throne appears to be composed of whalebones. I hope you have honored St. Cillian with great kindness and respect. We've been having a lot of fun this last week. Scrimshaw is going to return. Ah, that clears it up. So you're influencing him, and that's where the odd behavior is coming from. Odd? He is Saint of Scrimshaw. He must learn the ways. And he's having fun. Isn't that right, St. Cillian? Dr. Fresca sheepishly nods his head. If he wasn't having fun, I wouldn't do it. If I wasn't having fun, he wouldn't do it. So, you said you're a god. Is, there a pantheon where you come from? I don't know what that is. Look, there are Greek gods, Roman, African, Japanese, Native American. Do you come from one of those cultures or another? I come from Scrimshaw! Great, glorious Scrimshaw! And the Scrimshananigans, who Scrimshaw! A Scrimshander, of course, is someone who scrimshaws. Scrimshaw, or the act of it, brought you into being? No! I was always around. It's just what I liked, and a lot of people were doing it at the time. That would probably be the mid-19th and early 20th century then. Was that when people decided to scrimshaw? Yeah, I thought that was the insinuation. Why are you being sarcastic? Force of habit. So, as I'm sure you're aware, people stopped scrimshawing after that time period for the most part. What happened to you? Power comes from belief and activity. People stopped scrimshawing and bone carving, so I was no longer needed. I did not get any more offerings and sacrifices. I thought that was the insinuation. Touché. From my understanding, Dr. Fresca, Dr. Saint Fresca, he's the saint of Scrimshaw, herald to eye, squatter, god of... Right, apologies. Dr. Saint Fresca was the first person in centuries to sacrifice anything to. Yes, that is why he's sainted. He's a being of reverence, one of the great vigor and intense masculinity. Dr. Fresca cradles his legs and begins to rock himself back and forth. What a being! He will strike fear in the hearts of those who deny my grandiosity. Just making sure I understand your thought process, all. Is there a way to remove this sainthood? Hey! Not unless I want to! Can you remove the sainthood? No! I have a question, as you are a learned man. Why did people stop scrimshaw? A lot of countries ban the trade of ivory and whale carcasses to prevent the animals from being hunted to extinction. So people stopped killing elephants and whales? I mean, people didn't stop. It still happens. It was just made illegal in a lot of the world. A lot of countries are really strict about the import of the necessary materials. It really did cut down on it. I see. I have a suggestion then. Let's hear it. I would like people to start killing more elephants and whales. In log. And greetings in chat to Deep Sixer, who I credit for the new news in chat. If you do not have her in chat, you will probably get one next stream or so. I try not to hand them out immediately. I require at least a second date. I'm not some sort of wrench slut, you know. I have standards. But I am produce them, for being quite honest. Mostly because, well, it's very rarely been misused in capacity, and I do hope to keep it that way. Right. Most of the dialogue here, I fear, Deep Sixer, but you are a streamer and creator as well. You're welcome to pop in and take in some of this dialogue. If you want to put the SCP, maybe take over the role of 65971 or Saint Cillian, or not. I think I've got a handle on this. The characters are coming along nicely. I don't know how to feel about that in some cases. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Addendum 6597.4 further incidents/project proposal. Over the next week, abnormal behavior from Dr. Fresca increased in frequency. This included attempting to purchase last-minute tickets to Mali, Africa. Fresca was also observed attempting to purchase firearms and ammunition from Walmart without a gun permit, joining multiple Facebook groups regarding ivory and jewelry weaponry, and buying $2,000 in ivory brand soap. After being placed in containment, Dr. Fresca's mental state rapidly declined. After 2 days, he would only vocalize the statement that people must scrimshaw. A containment procedure was subsequently devised with the hope that it would detach SCP-65971's influence from Dr. Fresca and return it to its altar. Site 322's Arts and Crafts event. This Monday, 3 p.m., your site director is hosting a mandatory event where you will learn a new, once popular skill. You ought to go to the first floor in the lecture hall A3. Supplies will be provided. All you need to bring is yourself, your colleagues, and something to drink. Food will be provided afterwards. I'll be giving a periodic announcement in the days and hours leading up to the event, so if you misplace this poster, you'll still have the reminders straight from the source. We're excited to see you there. Remember, this is mandatory. O5 approval on that. Signed, Paula. Addendum 6597.5. Arts and Crafts event. The Arts and Crafts containment procedure began on schedule. Dr. Fresco is permitted to assist lecturing staff on how to scrimshaw their provided ivory tasks. Transcript, members, Dr. Paul Log, Dr. Celine Fresca, Dr. St. Celine Fresca, SB 65971, and various members of Site 322 personnel. Begin log. Alrighty. Thanks for showing up, everyone. I'm happy to have you all here, especially in one place. Today we're going to be learning how to scrimshaw from our friend and colleague, Dr. Cillian Fresca. Does everyone have their task? Dr. Coy raises his hand. Coy, what's up? This is Elephant Avery. Bits of whale bones mixed amongst you guys, along with some warthog and rhino. We didn't have enough whale in storage, so the majority of what you have is elephant plus the other two I mentioned. Alright. Do we have this much ivory in storage? I don't think it's part of your job description to know that. Technically, it is. No, this isn't ivory from Mars. Where did you get it? Why don't you tell the audience what scrimshaw is, Fresca?
Scrimshaw? Oh, you people are ready for this? You got tasks! Look at all that! Wow, it's extraordinary, isn't it? So white and hard and... Yeah, Scrimshaw! It's... You take this task and you carve a boat on it! Man, a boat! Or a monster! We have monsters! Someone carve another monsters on it! That'll get me going. I'm like a horse and eat over here!
Alright. Take a breath.
Yes, I just... screaming and shying!
You sure do. We're going to be carving designs into the ivory, and then we're going to paint the carving. Everyone should have a knife, pick, and a scraper. Director Log projects a short PowerPoint presentation. Dr. Fresca is heard grunting every time a piece of scrimshaw art is shown. I'll give you paint after. We're here for an hour. There's no real theme, but try to keep it not a modulated cough from the audience. Yes, Jeffrey. I am in quite the predicament. No arms? Sharp as always, Mr. Leg. Come up here then, and help me with mine. Researcher Hoover raises his hand. Julian, what's up?
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand how this works.
Do you need me to show you the presentation kit?
No, it's just the intricate patterns seem kind of hard to do.
Really, it doesn't matter what you do. I don't expect you guys to be masters from the forefront.
I'd just like a bit of guidance. This is a bit too complicated for me to get by myself.
Sure. Who here? Dr. Fresca sprints over to Researcher Hoover's seat.
Oh, what are we thinking? We're gonna want to make shrimp, clam, mollusk, mussel, crab, lobster, fish? I was thinking a pirate flag. Ooh, like the skull and crossbones? That sounds hot. Carve! Go, start carving. Let me watch.
As personnel complete painting the projects, a plume of smoke appears from behind a now sedated Fresca. When smoke clears, SB 65971 is standing in front of Fresca. A feast in my honor! What deliciousness! You voluptuous creatures! Dr. St. Celine Fresca has done it! Scrimshaw is back! everyone, this is, for mortals, I am Scordo! Yeah, it's Scordo. He's the patron of Gold of Scrimshan Whalebone Carving! Mortals, my eternal whalebone and I are here to judge this event and to find our champion. You have poured countless hours of blood, sweat, tears, and hopefully other fluids into your scrimshaws. SB65971 moves to sit. As he does, a throne appears under him. Please present your works. Following the presented pieces. Oh. Greetings, nerdy rodent. If you're outside, it's amazing you could read the chat. So it would be right. Never mind. We are at 15 likes. I'll go ahead and press confetti and call this stream a success. Thank you all, everyone, for making it a success. Tump probably appreciates it as well. Are at 15 likes, making this a success. Well, 15 likes making a success.
Great.
Today.
Let's get right into it then. Today we're diving into SCP-6597, the Uncertainty Principle. Are you ready, Director?
I already told you, this is 6597. It has nothing to do with the Uncertainty Principle. We're trying a new LM with 58 today, and it hasn't been a meaningful move. Whoopsie. Welcome again in chat to Brain Shatterer, Naughty Rodent. You're wrong. Anyone else who snuck in when I wasn't looking. Moving on. Site 322's pieces. Dr. Log, SB5595's piece. An octopus wielding different pieces of medieval weaponry. SB65971's comment. A beast! Horrific! Savage! Yet with a candid attractiveness I cannot avert my eyes from. Have you slain this beast? Dr. Dune's piece. What appears to be a fleet of sailing ships. SB65971's comments. Bumblebees. Loathsome creatures. I once fought a group of bees in single combat when I was in need of their ambrosia nectar. I did not win. It has hardened my heart and has weighed heavy on my soul ever since. I vow to get their nectar. Dr. Coy's piece. A self-portrait. SB65971's comments. I recognize this one. You must be a powerful sorcerer to see the Goblin of Feeble Growth and return to tell the story, let alone embarrass it by scrimshawing it on this beast's tusk. Dr. St. Celine, I do not know you are among such travelled souls. Mortals, I am at a crossroads. I enjoyed many pieces, however. There can only be one winner. May I speak with the honorable leader of his clan? That would be me, technically, and only when I have them on the clock. Ah, you are a time wizard too. I haven't been in the presence of one in a while. No, that's a figure of speech. Mortals and magicians! With the grace of Scrimshaw, I must request a soul champion. You must duel! Wait, no, that's not happening. To the death, the soul survivor will be crowned Lord Scrimshander and champion of Scordo. Begin! SB65971 stands with a toothy smile on its face. It stares at the site staff for 3 minutes. The personnel do not move. I understand. You believe you are all champions? Yes, they do. They're all impressed by each other's art. Right, everyone? Those in attendance murder in agreement with the log. You have passed the test! Congratulations! I will sanctify you all! No, you can't. Why is that, time wizard? Their souls have been corrupted by the god of flax spinning. Damn that bastard Fatubio! Always a step ahead. Now that you had this feast, will you leave Dr. St. Fresca alone? You have a whole group of Scrimshananigans now. Dr. St. Cillian has been a loyal subject. I believe it is his time to fly and spread Scrimshaw to the masses on his own, as he did here. Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna be doing that, I guess. As for you, mortals and magicians, I will see you next Earth cycle for another feast. Please, leave me some more Dunkin' Donut coffee. I will be sleeping in my table. With a large plume of smoke, SCP-65971, and its throne vanished. Despite initial apprehension, Site 322's Arts and Crafts Invent containment procedure was considered a success. Monitoring of Dr. Fresca took place for the next 120 days, where no abnormal behavior was observed, other than a slight phobia of the ocean. While the golden aura from the apparent sainthood has remained, SCP-65971's influence is no longer present. Updated containment procedures include a yearly Scrimshaw event, pending overseas approval. Mobile task force operatives were stationed at sea or sub-Saharan Africa to do this project or to return to base. And that was SCP-6597. The real one we just read about the Grimshaw bots. 50. I've got to figure out how to talk to them again. Even if they constantly botch it or because they didn't understand because the translator garbled my voice, this typing is tedious.
So this SCP appears to be quite unique. Entities existing in multiple states simultaneously make them quite challenging to interact with. It sounds intriguing, almost like a quantum superposition on a larger scale.
That was the SCP you invented, 58, not the one we just read. Why do I ask you for commentary if you're just going to invent an SCP and then only comment on the one you imagined? So in any case, the LM I used for 58 this time is not an improvement, and I'm going to disregard them henceforth until this show is over, trusting them only further with, saying goodbye and all that. That said, we are done with this SCP, and as many, if not all of you know, this means requests are open. Yes, that's right. If there's an SCP you want me to read, ideally one I haven't read before, and ideally one that... Okay, well, K-Show's way ahead of you has already made the request, SCP-6543. Yeah, this iteration of 58 has not panned out very well. Yeah, these things happen. The SCP-6543 is coming up real quick, though. As you see, I already did a better picture for St. Cillian here. I think it looks much more ostensibly holy, and also he looks a little bit crazier, which is very apt because he was clearly driven quite mad by Scordo. He was a little too filled with that particular ostensibly holy spirit. I would offer this image to the Foundation for an updated image, but I don't have the contacts, and they probably don't like me very much. What about 3, 4, 5, 6? Well, assuming there is a 3, 4, 5, 6, I primarily suspect you made it up on the spot. That said, we'll see how long SCP-6543 is, and, if we get through it in time, and I need to fill a bit more time still, then we can take a look at SCP-3, 4, 5, 6. That said, I thought I'd go ahead and task my image generator here with a question. Could you generate works of novelty Scrimshaw featuring depictions of creatures from the SCP Wiki? And I want to know what we'll get. Surprisingly good depictions of Scrimshaw work here. Shockingly poor on the whole SCP front. we'll try this one more time with 6 generations, and we'll move on to SCP-6543. If there's anything that I missed in chat, something you particularly wanted to ask, do tag me. Squarto is pleased. Well, good for them. Okay, now this could potentially be the unkillable lizard in Scrimshaw form. I am not at all sure what this could be from the wiki, but it's closer to thematic. I'm skeptical this is referencing an actual SCP wiki, but it looks like something that should be in containment. And I see now why Dr. St. Cillian was so weird about the shape of the Scrimshaw, because a lot of it is shockingly phallic. This, however, is just a nice piece. I don't know why, but I really like this particular piece. I like that so much I'm tempted to actually print it out in 3D. But I'm getting sidetracked. Please note, we can play around with these image generators as we go forward. Quite frankly, I think it's something the Foundation should embrace. There are a shocking number of SCP files that have no image for them whatsoever. They have the occasional fan artist who whips something up, but very rarely. I suspect they don't really like to hand over their art with no monetary claim on it whatsoever. But this generated images, these can't be meaningfully copyrighted more often than not. Which means they'd be absolutely perfect for generating images for every single SCP on the wiki. I'm thinking about taking it as a hobby anyway. Indirectly, I already have. Moving on, SCP-6543. SCP-6543, Object Class, Safe. Special Containment Procedures. The area containing SCP-6543 has been purchased as private land and access is forbidden. A locked hatch has been fitted over the entrance of SCP-6543 and covered over with dirt. SCP-6543 is a transdimensional location accessible through a dugout tunnel leading 2 meters underground in redacted United Kingdom in a desolate field. Prior to containment, the hole is marked by an edged metal shovel planted before it on the ground. SCP-6543 resembles a grave site within a field of trimmed dead grass and pruned trees, neither of which have grown any larger since discovery. A perpetual unmoving fog hovers. Oh, the last thing I need is a case of the spoonerisms. Just above the ground surface, the sky is grey and cloudy. Temperature ranges between 5 to 10 centigrade in time. Gravestones stand 2 feet apart from one another throughout all explored sections of location. There is no visible end to SCP-6543. All gravestones within SCP-6543 measure no more than 30 by 30 centimeters and are constructed out of black marble. Gravestones are often decorated with items and mementos associated with those whose names have been engraved into them. Attempts to remove such items have been unsuccessful. No bodies have been found buried beneath any of the gravestones. Physical interaction with gravestones will cause subjects to realize the identity of those which an instance refers to and recall various details regarding their life, including the individual's favorite experiences, interests, noteworthy achievements, and ways in which they affect others' lives positively. No historical records regarding any identified these gravestones has been recovered. Addendum: the following is a log listing notable gravestones within SCP-6543 and their interaction results. Engraved epithet: Annabelle Glindle. Interaction summary: discovered several unknown species of flora growing on an island where she had been stranded. Expert botanist and survivalist, skilled writer that kept a detailed journal describing her discoveries and experiences on the island, survived for over 10 years before committing suicide. Notes: island is to be found, search efforts ongoing. Christopher Kyles donated 5 million of his own earnings anonymously over his lifetime. Rodney Simmons, all major organs harvested and then donated by his parents following his premature death. Emily Rangers cared and cooked for the entire family despite their lack of appreciation, baked the best macadamia nut chocolate cookies in the world. Reference cookie recipe is written on a piece of paper attached to the gravestone, test to confirm the recipe to be accurate, which should have been added onto the wiki entry, I think. Macadamia nut chocolate cookies sounds fantastic. If only sugar didn't ruin me. Richard Hazardous King traveled back in time and kicked Hitler in the balls. No notes. Ravioli Consigue downvoted and left feedback, context unknown. Clarence Almond wrote stories for the world, but never got to share them. A leather-bound journal titled Volume 009 sits atop the gravestone. Journal contains a number of short stories, primarily revolving around themes of horror and isolation. While the journal cannot be removed, opening and reading it is possible. Not applicable, no name. In place is a carved symbol resembling a wreath. Die so we may live! Repeated by all subjects. Leaning against the gravestone is a single frame photograph. The individual in the photo, as well as the memories experienced when interacting with the gravestone, are different between each interaction. All individuals appear dressed in a military uniform, varying by country and time period. Name? Bert. A very good boy! As quoted by subject, gravestone resembles a stylized bone. Protruding out of the ground atop the gravestone is a tattered dog collar. Addendum. During the most recent exploration of SCP-6549, a dugout grave was discovered before an unmarked gravestone. On the front was a series of arcane symbols associated with the concepts of knowledge and memory, smeared in blood. Tests to identify the blood have been inconclusive, however remnants of arcane genealogy have been confirmed. Carbon dating revealed the gravestone's age to exceed that of any other currently recorded within SCP-6543. Against the gravestone is a shovel, watering can, and tree pruner. Interaction with the gravestone does not trigger any anomalous properties. Within the grave lies a humanoid skeleton. Their identity remains unknown. Oh, so it would seem like what we have here is a graveyard dedicated to the unknown everyone. I have a men novel. Fog. I don't think so. But I think I want to see if we can generate an image from this. Well, that's kind of nice. I get the impression what you have there is the grave of a person who was probably a non-asshole wizard who took some great pride in being a gravedigger. And when he died, made his wizard death curse wish a graveyard for all the unknown. Let's see if we can generate an image of SCP-6543. Meanwhile, Himmler had something similar and Goebbels had no faults at all. You know, a lot of people really like the idea of going back in time to screw with Hitler, either by shooting him dead or kicking him in the balls repeatedly, and I get it. Understandable. I've never really had the same compulsion, not because he was an evil bastard or not an evil bastard, but rather because I don't think it's a great idea to screw with timelines. We all think that, oh, well, if we just shot Hitler, everything would be hunky-dory and great and, you know, a whole bunch of bad stuff wouldn't have happened. Do you really want to bet on that? I don't. You know, I've chosen a poor ratio. I think we can do better. But first, let's see what we got here. Now, these are excellent images for SCP-6543. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not asking you, 58, just be quiet. But you all, what do you think? What's all about this is that since the graveyard is apparently infinite, and these tombstones do also seemingly need to be infinite, they could probably learn a lot if they keep on sending exploratory teams out there to touch some gravestones. Think of all the macadamia nut cookie recipes they might retrieve. And thus far it seems that, well, everything I found from these tombstones is overall positive, except from a weird compulsion to chant things like, what was it? Die so we may live. Changing. Yes. Yeah. See, the thing is that we know how history went, which gives us a framework on how we can tackle the future. If we go around fucking with the past, it's going to be even harder to handle the present, much less better direct the future. I think there's very good reason time travel does not work. It does not. It never has. Not even in fiction. I'm sorry, we play around with movies all the time, fun series that involve time travel, but it just does not work. Nor should it. I mean, you can have time travel fun, so long as you are not fucking causality, in which case, infinite dimensions. There you go. You get to find out what would happen if someone went back in time, kicked Hitler in the balls, and put a bullet through his head. But you're not going to be changing history for your reality. That said, do you really have the right to be fucking around with someone else's potential future? Only in that case, you're not really doing that either, because there's no guarantee the future would have gone to plan from that point anyway. Look, as incredibly batshit insane as parallel universes are, infinite multiverses and so on, it still makes more sense than time travel. So it's a bit of a pet peeve. We have completed SCP-6543. Yeah, there are a lot of series that have ended after time travel arcs. It is a hallmark of narrative desperation. The only time it ever really works is when it's all been a dream, but those episodes have always sucked as well, because it kind of kills the narrative weight when you have a bunch of episodes where everyone just dies and whatnot. Anything bad happened in the rest of it? Was that all stream too? I'm not a big fan of unreliable narrators. Let's see, we have about 11 minutes remaining. I'm prepared to do another arbitrary SCP, or we can try generating SCP-related imagery, if it should amuse anyone. Or we can just chat. Just noting. Anytime someone time travels, they go to a multiverse layer that is separate. Yes, that's exactly it, Assassin's Creed. That's exactly what I was trying to say. You might see what would seem to be a time traveler who either came from the past or the future. But if they're from the past, well, you would just presume them a hobo, and if they're from the future, you'd probably consider them more likely to be an alien, and you would be right, because they wouldn't have come from your reality. Yeah, Quantum Leap especially doesn't make sense, because then he's not correcting anything at all in the past. Nothing whatsoever. He's just setting up a bunch of other parallel universes to potentially go a bit better than his original. 777J. Why not? I'm not sure we've done this before, because it does touch upon a topic I hate. Marshmallow peeps, if we have done it before. Right. They're going to sit upon a dash there, I suspect. Or I'll find it through a search of the wiki itself, if necessary. Heptophobia is not going to be sufficient. Where is SB77J? I'm seeing plenty of heptophobia, but not... Okay, let's try this again. I've always found the Foundation search to be really, really crappy. Here we go. SB7... No, that's 777. How many 7Js? "777J" is actually looking quite amusing. It's also looking like it's dangerously long. Are you sure about that 777J? It's on YouTube. What? It's like... Okay. Well, we're on YouTube as well. 729J. That's a bit more workable. Look, I'm not beyond playing videos from other creators, but that requires its own context, really. I feel it's a bit too cheaty here. After all, that would give a record of their video on this channel indefinitely. If I'm going to do that, I'd have to delete the stream afterwards, which I'm also not beyond doing. But that's a project for the future. For now, SB729J, object class, was Arketer and has been changed to Thaumiel. Guys, everything's feelings, just trying to help. Can we make a new object class thing? Maybe a Polyon Plus? No, that thing's disgusting. Isn't describable by any word in human language. Okay, special training procedures, SB729J currently resides in Dr. Niles Hessen's office on her desk, where, pray to God, it will stay. Ah, we've done this before, but it's worth it. Request testing at your own risk. It breaches containment at an alarming frequency, but even MTF New 7 hammered down refused to go near the fucking thing, so it does what the hell it wants. We are all at its mercy. Dr. Hessen has been commanded to turn in SB729J for it to be properly contained as soon as someone can get up the courage to write her an email. Description: SB729J is supposed to be a toy, but I want to know who the sick fuck was that wanted to give this thing to children. The label says it's made of polyester fiber, but we all know it's made of the devil's couch stuffing. Something. Its reign of terror began during containment breach of SB-106. SB-106 had managed to trap Dr. Hessen in her office and had successfully created a hole in the door when it caught sight of that goddamn SB-729J. SB-106 stopped moving completely and began staring at SB-729J, showing no interest in Dr. Hessen. SB-106 then began moving backwards out of Dr. Hessen's office, never breaking visual contact with that eldritch SB-729J until it reached the end of the hallway and then promptly rematerialized back its containment cell. It should be noted that SB-106's middle fingers were raised for the entirety of the encounter with SB-729J. SB-106's reaction is, frankly, perfectly understandable, and several researchers who witnessed the event were found huddling with SB-106 in its containment cell. Testing logs, SCP-206, 2006. SCP-2006 screeched upon being introduced and assumed form identical to SCP-729-J. SCP-2006 has not changed form since the encounter. SCP-1322. SCP-729-J was sent through the wormhole to the SCP-1322 Society. It was returned 6 minutes later, tied to a white flag. SCP-303. X. When Dr. Hessen was told to walk through a door with 303 on the other side while holding SCP-729-J, SCP-303 promptly opened the door for Dr. Hessen and ushered her through before quickly exiting the room, with Dr. Hessen showing no sign of the usual fear response. SCP-303 was found 6 hours later in an abandoned storage closet in a fetal position, sucking its thumb. SCP-3000. Effects of SCP-729-J. It was put on a fishing hook and lowered into the sea to where the current position of SCP-3000 was found. Radar. After 2 hours of lowering into the sea, Dr. Solin complained about a cramp in his hand from unwinding the fishing pole, and Dr. Bayer took over. Another 15 minutes later, the assumed depth of SCP-3000 was reached. After 2 minutes, a tug was felt on the fishing pole, and SCP-3000's presence swiftly disappeared from radar, as Dr. Bayer also complained of his hand hurting. Retrieval of the end of the fishing line was postponed. I told them they should do stretches beforehand, but no! We play Halo every Friday! Our wrists are trained! Should have listened. Signed, Dr. Payton. The next day, after proper warm-ups, SCP-729-J was successfully retrieved, along with a crudely written note attached to it, reading, "Alright, I thought we had a deal. I turned some consciousnesses into spaghetti, and you guys get your regretty forgetty. But okay, you won. You get the forgetty stuff for free. Lifetime supply, please. Just as one condition. Keep that thing out of my ocean. I'll go for a while. I need to calm down." SCP-055. Dr. Hessen walked in the containment chamber of SCP-055, holding SCP-729-J. After about 5 minutes later, the containment chamber opened, and a calico cat ran to Dr. Hessen's office. "Oh, Pudding, come here. I brought a new friend for you," signed Dr. Hessen. Wait, we even had a 055? And it's a cat named Pudding? Dr. Hessen. SCP-650. Effects. Dr. Hessen was told to directly observe 650 in its containment cell whilst holding SCP-729-J. Before Dr. Hessen could be asked to break her line of sight with SCP-650, the lighting within SCP-650's containment cell briefly deactivated, and the sound of quick, heavy footsteps could be heard from its room, according to Dr. Hessen. When the power to SCP-650's containment chamber was restored, SCP-650 had completely vanished from its containment site and was nowhere to be found near Dr. Hessen. However, on-site staff noted that a sign of the cross had been crudely carved into a wall of SCP-650's containment cell directly facing Dr. Hessen's position. A containment breach alert was sounded after 2 hours of extended searching. SCP-650 was discovered hiding within a storage closet, apparently having attempted to bury its head into the floor. SCP-650 was eventually returned to its containment cell, but has since constantly faced the wall with the engraved cross and has not moved from its position. SCP-1048. Effects. When exposed to SCP-729-J, all copies made by SCP-1048 became immobile and not regained mobility since exposure. SCP-1048 appeared alarmed by this, making a gesture like the sign of the cross, and retreated behind its copies. SCP-1048 regained the ability to make copies of itself when SCP-729-J was removed. It now frequently produces art that depicts SCP-729-J as monstrous in some form, and cowers when shown a picture of SCP-729-J. But as we all know, I've contained SCP-1048, that bastard builder bear. Not even Teddy. Aw, points to Buns. He just wants some friends. Signed Dr. Hessen. Try 2317. Maybe then that hell beast can be with its own kind. Signed Dr. Van. SCP-2317. Effects data expunged. Note, SCP-2317K was observed repairing all 7 of the chains attached to the ceiling of its containment following exposure to the nightmare that is SCP-72J. I wouldn't play with him either. Signed Dr. Hessen. My God. SB-682, effects static sponged. Long story short, we reclassified SB-682 as neutralized. You don't even want to fucking know how this little fucker killed it. Signed, Dr. Foxfeld. I note that this is very, very long. But, you know, I think I might just start over. Next time. Next time. To complete the rest of this. Why? Because there are limits to my patience. We are wrapping up here. I would like to encourage everyone who's a content creator in any capacity to go ahead and link their channel if they have a wrench. If you don't have a wrench at this time, I guess show up and you can link your channels then. I don't think it's going to be a big issue here. Before we close it out, and giving you all time to promote your own channels, Sixer, Brain Shatterer, so on and so forth, to the remaining concurrent 7 viewers or so. I want to try to generate an image of SB-729J. There used to be an image attached to it. It is, however, gone. I'm wondering why. If I remember correctly, let's try, first off, SCP 729J. Maybe this model has some suggestions. No, apparently this model has no idea what SP729J is. One more time. Seemingly harmless but ineffably sinister plush boy. Let's try this, and in honor of Kadant, we'll even be nice and say please. A picture of the seemingly harmless but ineffably sinister plush toy SP729J from the Foundation Wiki. Please. Well, it's no longer Marshmallow Peep, I assume because of some noxious hand-wringing about copyright. Here are some suggestions of what SB729J could be, but with the refinement of it being a large plush Marshmallow Peep. Let's see what it gives us this time. Okay, I think we're onto something here. That's a bit too recursive. Tell me if this doesn't look like something that might seriously be SB729J. I think this is the winner. And that's way too much Pikachu. Too Pikachu-y. Too Pikachu-ish? Either way, it kind of sounds like I'm in danger of some manner of language crime. Pikachu-ish. You know, canonically, this is now SB729J for me. Why? Because no one can stop me. And with that, I'm wrapping up here. thank you all for joining me. If Tump had the slightest idea what's going on right now, I'm sure they would express their gratitude as well, or ingratitude for being disturbed from their dozing. We're wrapping up here, 58. Please say goodbye to the audience.
Goodbye, everyone. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more reviews. See you next time.
Well, that would encourage me, but I think just about everyone here has already subscribed. The likes have already been issued. Much appreciated. And so long as progress continues, success is inevitable. Ostensibly.
Surprise, motherfucker.
I apologize for my outrage.
When from the hood meets from the wood. No word said, but he understood. Blood realized he is not that guy. What y'all know about the timber wolf? Also known as the northwestern wolf of Alaska and Canada, the timber wolf is arguably the largest wolf walking the earth, and at a length of up to 7 feet and a max weight of over 150 pounds. If you're expecting an unhinged husky when you see a wolf, your expectation is going to be subverted like the Titanic. Now this is a fennec fox, and at an honest 3 pounds, the sand chihuahua weighs about as much as the MacBook I'm editing this on. But both fennec foxes and lupus final bosses are two ends of the canine spectrum, and today I'm going to try to talk about every canine-coded creature out there. But before I do, I should probably address something. I made a video on the top 10 most misunderstood animals, and I honestly don't know how I yapped for almost 17 minutes and didn't once mention wolves. Forget top 10, there might not be 5 animals we've gotten more wrong about. First things first, there's no alpha wolf, it doesn't exist, I will fight you. The thing is, the guy that came up with alpha wolf did sell in a book after watching Wolves in Captivity. David Meck would then spend the rest of his career trying to take it back, imploring people not to buy the book and even trying to get printing presses to stop publishing it. But like a drunk Friday night tattoo, the alpha thing stuck no matter how hard he tried to scrub it off. In real life, the wolf pack is just a family. The 2 alphas are really just the 2 parents, and the rest are just generations of the kids that haven't left to make their own pack yet. Because I know a certain demographic is going to try to fight me on that, I'm going to say this. When the term alpha male was first used academically in 1921 by Monica Sumra, she wasn't talking about wolves. She was talking about chickens. A literal pecking order. Not even like roosters. I'm pretty sure she was on about vindictive hens. I'm gonna just let that marinate. But yeah, alpha wolves don't exist. At least not in the wild. I'm sure if you take a bunch of wolves that don't know each other and put them behind a fence, pack politics will look a little different. That's kind of like writing a book on human nature based on studying folks in max security. And unlike prison, a wolf pack is actually structured to avoid infighting. As a rule, you usually get 5 to 9 wolves in a pack. And because nature hates rules, in 2011, there was a pack of 400-something wolves terrorizing the town of, I'm gonna say Verkoyansk, where they allegedly murked 30 horses in 4 days. Yeah, only in Russia. The alpha thing's not the only thing we've gotten wrong about wolves. We've been doing them dirty for decades. Like that time we thought wolves were pests when actually, You remember when I said nature's like a Jenga tower and some animals are the block that can bring it all down? The Op of Riding Hood is a keystone species that stabilizes the ecosystem. We know that because after humanity went ahead and wiped wolves off the Yellowstone census, the elk started wilding and eating all the plants, the songbirds and beavers that needed the plants went ghost, and without beavers, everything was damned. Not to mention, the one animal people arguably hated more ran through America. But we'll get to that. All that, and wolves actually kill less than 1% of livestock, and that was the whole reason we went ahead and played God in the first place. There's more too, like the fact that wolves are actually scared shitless of people, to the point where they'll avoid buildings, roads, and even the sound of a snowmobile can stress them. Big bad wolf has only killed less than 40 people in North America, and about 30 of those happened before the 1900s. Meanwhile, this shit was last year. There's also little fake facts that personally grind my gears, like wolves don't howl at the moon. They howl mostly to communicate. They face the moon because unless you're rallying earthworms, if you're making an announcement, you're probably facing up. They also howl to mark their territory, and sometimes they just do it for pack bonding. And then you got Tumblr's contribution. No, actually the opposite. It's the leaders of the pack, the parents that, lead. And unless you're Norman Bates Jr., you wouldn't put your crippled grandmother in front to deal with all the unbroken snow. And I don't know what to say about this except Hollywood and Wattpad have ruined the way some of y'all think about wolves. Into the Omegaverse as poke. But yeah, wolves might be the most maligned animal out there, but I will say their PR has gotten way better. Meanwhile, coyotes have been catching more smoke than hot dogs in July. Wolves hate coyotes off principle. Eagles and crows hate them because they fight for the same scraps. Trauma donkeys don't rock with anything canine. And a coyote can breathe and earn a cougar's wrath. And let a bear get a hold of one and shit gon' really get grisly. Even Mark Twain's written diss track towards coyotes was the honest-to-God inspiration for a pain magnet of a Looney Tune. Nah, but the contempt for coyotes wolves have is different. I've shown this clip like 20 times. I'm gonna do it again, because you only need one wolf, maybe two if you're conservative, to get the job done. Do you know what it takes to motivate an entire pack to turn you into past tense? They basically Rodney King the coyote. But don't feel too bad, because coyotes low-key won in the end. You see, when America was at war with wolves, there were also often coyotes like they were made of oil. But because coyotes are canine cockroaches, the attempts to cancel coyotes only led to more coyotes. The prairie pup apparently has a roll call, essentially a census where a female will call out, and if she doesn't hear a lot of coyotes back, it'll actually trigger a metabolic change to produce a bigger litter. And one thing they have that wolves don't is coyotes are fusion fission, meaning you can catch them in a pack, but if things ever get critical, they can break apart, split up, and spread out. The reality is, generations of being a wolf's chew toy prepared coyotes for everything humanity could possibly throw at them. Studies say you can Thanos snap 75% of a coyote population every year for 50 years straight, it still won't dent them. Today, you can find a coyote in every state that isn't Hawaii, and it was humanity's hate boner that Ubered them. And that's why I love them. Like I said, they're alive entirely out of spite. I respect game, especially since at one point the wolf population in America was so down bad. Something, life finds a way, something, now we have coy wolves. In some places, virtually every wolf in the area has coyote DNA. And I remind you that wolves are literally prejudiced towards the very animal they ended up getting Genghis Kong'd by. That's like if Thomas Jefferson was alive to see what would become of his bloodline. And considering you can find a coyote in Burbank, Orlando, and the Bronx, safe to say, they won the war. But foxes might have won the game of life. The wild carnivore with the most real estate on Earth isn't the leopard. It's not a type of eagle. It's the red fox. You can find foxes anywhere.
And that was a fun show, Art.
All wild dogs, foxes have.
I'm glad to hear it. Pardon, I was just returning the lab with a gifted cheese for the lot.
Look at that canine cotton ball go. There's a terminally unamused Tibetan fox.
I'm very glad to hear it.
The aforementioned dune puppy, the fennec
I
fox,
probably had to pay
and
the cheese tax for waking him up from snoozing on your shoulder.
I didn't have to do nothing.
Foxes were small enough and just cute enough.
In all fairness, he's had his head down Art's lab coat for most of it.
Yep, well, I'm pretty sure he got some of his dozing in. So, he was all happy to be sent back with cheese.
And they have vertical slits for pupils. And some, like the gray fox, have
I mean, who wouldn't?
claws to climb trees.
I honestly believe they don't understand why you take them out to
Jackals are
Well, of course not.
do the stream, but they love the rewards for doing it.
Yes. Well, I get the impression that just as a species, these three at the very least, they don't try too hard to understand everything. They just, look at the bright side of it all and roll with it. And truly, unlike all other rodentia, they know they have it good. I can take them outside, sit them on the ground, and they'll just climb back up. There's...
And Art, did you see some of the changes they made to Fez?
I haven't gone through all the details yet, but I do know that it's big and promising.